Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Vitalant's Grand Prize Ceremony. We're so excited that everybody is here today. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Sue Thu. I'm the Communications Manager for Vitalant. And we're very excited that the summer campaign is coming to an end. The Summer Drive to Save Lives is sponsored by the Valley Volkswagen dealers at AZTV7. And so we're so grateful for our sponsors. And between May 26th through September 7th, all Valley blood donors, all Arizona blood donors, as well as goal-making blood drive coordinators, were entered into a drawing to win this beautiful 2023 Volkswagen Taos valued at nearly $26,000. The car's been donated by the Valley Volkswagen dealers to encourage people to give blood this summer. So we're so grateful for your support. Let's all give a big hand to the Valley Volkswagen dealers. And now it's the big moment we've all been waiting for. It's time to give away a brand new car. So first, to get the party started, let's welcome our 10 finalists. Thank you, everybody. And anyway, I'm glad you found your chair. So we are very excited that today our grand prize ceremony is going to have some live segments with AZTV7, and so we may have to pause the ceremony at certain times just to coincide with the live programming, but just bear with us as we want to make a great show for AZTV. We're so excited that they're here. We also have other stations here today that are supporting us. Our program is being recorded for segments on 3TV and Channel 5, as well as the final key turn, I believe, will be live on Fox 10. So you all are celebrities here today. So now, to get our party even further started, it's time to welcome our Deal or No Deal game show hosts. Let's give a big round of applause for our game show hosts. So before we get started, we'd like to introduce some VIPs that we have here with us today. Feel free to go ahead and get comfortable, hosts, because you're going to be here for a little while before we give away the car. So first, I want to thank all the Volkswagen dealers who have donated cars for today's ceremony. And we have a few representatives here with us today. From Lundy's Peoria Volkswagen, we have Shelley Sluserack, and we also have Stephanie Smith, Shannon Mathis, as well as CJ Chittenden. From Chapman Volkswagen, we have Melissa Pierce and Indives Reeves. And from Volkswagen North Scottsdale, we have Brennan Mast. And then we have lots of representatives here from AZTV today. Standing by for our live segments, we have Arizona Daily Mix host Lexi Romero. And then several members from the production staff that are here to not only do our live segments, but the entire program will be on AZTV7's Facebook page by noon today. So anybody who wants to go back and watch the program from its beginning is welcome to do so. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce you to Sid Lewis, our Vice President of Vitalant Southwest Division.
Thank you, Sue. It's my honor to introduce several executive staff members from our Vitalant's National Office in Scottsdale and members of our Community Leadership Council have joined us today. Don Hall, Vice President of Real Estate, is with us. Peter Michelson, our Chief People Officer, is with us today. And Rob Van Tile, our COO, is with us today. Members of our CLC is Steve Martos, Commander of Phoenix Police Department and CLC Chair. Dr. Leslie Barakat with Cigna Healthcare. Michelle Ham, who's the principal at Bridgewell Consulting. Shannon Landers with Phoenix Country Club. And Mickey Day with Universal Technical Institute. Thank you all for being here on this special occasion to give support to our exciting event. I'd like now to turn our program over to Steve Martos, Chair of Vitalant's Community Leadership Council.
Thank you, Sid. Who's excited? You guys ought to be jumping out of your seats. So I was hearing this morning that out of almost 52 or over 52,000 donors, they selected U10. So congratulations. It'll be sad if you don't win the car, but whoever wins it, it'll be a great time, right? So thank you, Sid. As he mentioned, I am part of the Community Leadership Council. I'm greatly honored and humbled to be part of this group, some of whom are here. But the CLC is a volunteer advisory group that supports networks on behalf of Vitalant. Much like the CLC, Volkswagen is such a great example of community partnership. They've been doing this for so many years, and it just shows the great partnership between Vitalant and Volkswagen. Volkswagen helps increase blood supplies during the difficult summer months to attract donors. They create great community awareness for the need of blood donations, and Volkswagen gives Vitalant the opportunity to thank donors for saving lives. So on behalf of CLC and Vitalant, thank you, Volkswagen, for everything that you do, for being such a great partner in this endeavor. So thank you.
I'd like to join Steve in thanking Volkswagen, the Valley Volkswagen dealers, for sponsoring our summer event. This is the 17th annual Summer Drive to Save Lives campaign. Dealers around the Valley hosted 5 showroom blood drives as well, with 73 donations. During the 2023 campaign, 52,420 blood donors stepped up between May 27th and September 9th. Because each donor's donation can help 2 to 3 patients, more than 100,000 lives have been saved during this campaign. Vitalant is honored to partner with Volkswagen each and every year. I am also pleased to have the honor of formally introducing Melissa Pierce, Customer Relations Manager for Chapman Volkswagen. She is going to make a few remarks on behalf of the 7 Valley Volkswagen dealers who have collectively donated the Taos this year, worth nearly $26,000. So welcome, Melissa.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here on behalf of Chapman Volkswagen and the other Volkswagen dealerships. We thank you for the opportunity to be part of this extraordinary event. I'm grateful. This is my 4th year being here. Being able to work with Sue and all the other Vitalant members, it's a privilege. One thought comes to mind as I stand here with you today, and that is the thought of service to others. How can we help each other, and how can we help our community? Well, you have all done that by taking the time to go donate and giving the gift of life. Knowing that there's someone out there that is going to need that life-saving donation, what may seem like a small way of giving back to someone in need, it is a prayer answered. So thank you for all your acts of kindness and service to others. What you're doing is making a difference. So thank you again to Vitalant for continuing to let us be part of this mission and campaign to save lives. It's a great honor to be here.
Thank you, Melissa. While the Volkswagen campaign has made it fun to give blood this summer, it's important for us to remember why it's so vital to donate blood. Kim Tatum survived leukemia with the help of 30 blood donors. She's here today to share her story, so let's give Kim a warm round of applause.
Thanks, Sid. I hope everyone can hear me, and I'm looking right into the sun, which is unfortunate for the timing, but what a beautiful day. We're so lucky to be here on such a nice day for this event. I'm gonna lower this down just a hair. So what Sid said is 9 years ago, I was diagnosed with leukemia, and it was a pretty big surprise because I was, involved with my busy life, traveling and with my job, and all of a sudden I was in the hospital, and the very same day I was diagnosed with leukemia, they said, you're gonna die if you don't have a blood transfusion right now. And so they put me into the hospital and immediately transfused me with 2 units of blood to save my life that day. And then over the course of the next 6 months, going through chemotherapy and the cancer treatment, I needed many, many more blood transfusions and platelet transfusions. A lot of people don't know that platelet transfusions are also extremely important when you are going through cancer treatment. So during that time frame, each time I received my chemotherapy, my rounds of chemo, what it does is it kills off all of your bone marrow. It destroys your bone marrow, so your body doesn't have any ability to create its own blood resources to survive. So each time I would go through a round of chemotherapy, I would end up needing more blood and platelets to keep me going. And it's really only because of organizations like Vitalant and people like you, people who are taking their time to, come out and donate blood, that I'm still sitting here today. And something that I really like to remind everyone is that the day I needed it, the day I didn't think I was going to need to have a blood transfusion and I ended up in the hospital, that blood was there and available for me, and that wouldn't happen without people like you guys, organizations like Vitalant, and then all of the other people that work behind the scenes to do all of it. I mean, the nurses and the technicians, every time I go to a blood donation event, the amount of work that goes into setting everything up so that this works, this helps people. It's pretty amazing. Some of the people that I've talked to over the years, they say, well, who else do you think you should thank for this? And I think there's a lot of people behind the scenes. I was very fortunate to have a great employer, a great family to stand by me, a lot of friends. But when it really came down to it, those life-saving things, that came from you guys. So I really appreciate that. The number of chemotherapy rounds that I needed I needed to go through it 5 times. And almost all of that is done in the hospital. So I was in the hospital for the better part of 6 months during this treatment. And you get to know the nurses really well. They become like your family when you're in the hospital for that long. And the doctors too. So, but I was kind of spoiled actually, being able to do all of my cancer treatment inpatient in the hospital, because you have everything there right there for you. Whereas I know a lot of people who have cancer, other types of cancer, and they're having to go to another place to get their chemo, and then they go home. They don't have round-the-clock people, waiting on them and taking care of them. So that was another fortunate aspect of actually, getting leukemia as opposed to some other type of cancer. I know that seems like a weird thing. Some people have said over the years that getting cancer was not necessarily the worst thing that has happened to them in their life. And I know that seems really weird to say that, but really it's because of what you learn about other people when you're going through that experience, and what I've learned about how giving people can be, how amazing other people can be, like you guys, like the donors who've taken this time, and we so appreciate you. Everybody I know who has received blood products, we're just so grateful. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Kim, for sharing your story. This is one of those moments where Sue is actually doing a live segment right now. So it's just going to be another minute before we get started again. So she'll be right back with us. Welcome back, Sue.
Thank you, Sid, for filling a few moments while we went live on AZTV. We're so excited that people will be able to watch across Arizona the very moment that one of these wonderful finalists wins a brand new car. But first, I think we need to take a few minutes and meet our finalists. So I'm just going to step out here, if I can do this, and call our finalists up one by one, and let's get acquainted with them. And we're going to bring them up in order of their number of donations. So first, I'd like to welcome to the podium our donor with the highest number of donations. Stephen Adix gave at the Tempe Donor Center right here that's in our parking lot. He gave a whole blood donation on June 7th, and he's given 82 times. Come on up and have a chat. So welcome to our grand prize ceremony. How are you feeling?
Oh, happy to be here.
Well, fantastic. Well, when we got acquainted earlier in the summer, you were telling me a little bit about how you just donate wherever you happen to be. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that in your crazy schedule that you have?
Yeah, so I'm O negative, and it started years ago, I believe, when I was teaching in the Prairie School District. And then I transitioned after a number of years into my own painting company. So when you're O negative and you go in and they say, well, you can donate, in 8 weeks? I said, well, put it on the schedule. So they're on the schedule first. So a lot of times I look where my contracts are and I'll donate, go to the area that's closest to where I'm working. And I don't always go sit down. I actually go back to work many times and I kind of decide which arm to use. Because if I have to go back and use my right arm, I'm going to go out on the left this day. But so that's kind of the story. And it's, going back to helping, I was talking to one of the persons. Helping is, and I forget where she was, but anytime you're going through negative things in your life, if you can go help, it'll change your perspective every time. So that's just a little word of advice. And so every time I go in, I do not see it as a burden. I see it as a joyful giving.
Well, we're so glad that you find it joyful. We certainly find you joyful. And speaking of having O negative blood, how did it make you feel when you found out you had O negative, the universal donor?
I thought something was wrong with my parents. No, not at all. Don't even get me started about mom and dad. I didn't really quite understand it, even though I went to got a degree in physical education, so you do take anatomy and physiology, so you learn a little bit on oxygen and all how the blood works. So when I was O negative, I still see that little chart. It hangs in my office, A plus, and all the different blood types. It just, I think, made me think, well, I just know for the most part they said your blood goes to the baby. So that's kind of my first thought was, well, the little ones always get it.
Well, the little ones do often get the O negative blood. In fact, they require it most times, the youngest of babies and pregnant women. But I'd like to tell you a little bit about where your O negative blood went this past summer. So your red blood cells went to a male in his 30s at a Valley hospital who was having a sickle cell crisis, and that's a person who has red blood cells that become deformed, and so they have to have healthy blood cells transfused to them. And then also in the spring, I also looked back to your spring donation, and your red blood cells from that donation went to a male in his 80s who had a trauma and was being treated at an outlying Arizona hospital. So on behalf of those patients, thank you for your dedication. Now I'd like to welcome Gershon Eager. He's from Avondale. He's given 59 donations, has O positive blood, so another one of our universal blood types. Gershon is our bonus entry online finalist, and his name was drawn out of 5,970 people who visited our VW website to register their promo code. And he gave platelets on June 7th at our Goodyear Donor Center. And in fact, he's such a dedicated donor. He gave platelets 8 more times between June 15th and September 30th. So I think that deserves a round of applause. So, Gershon, when we were talking a couple of weeks ago, you were telling me about what you do for a living. It's such an interesting job. Want to share it just a little bit?
Yes, I'm a high school teacher, and so I teach chemistry and also engineering and robotics, so a variety of subjects.
So, how do you structure the robotics?
That's pretty open. Luckily, I have First Inspires that produces a nice framework. Our students get to cooperate with one another and still be very, very competitive, and so it teaches them skills they could bring into industry and then to NASA. It's quite a fun process.
Well, I can imagine. So, how did you first start giving blood, Gershon?
That actually started when I was a student at ASU, and there was a student club that hosted a blood drive. And as I learned more about blood and as I continued giving, I heard about platelets, and that actually turns out to be a really good match for me. I struggle to keep my iron levels high enough, and so platelets are just the perfect match for me.
So, well, we're so glad that you're giving platelets, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about where your platelets went. On June 7th, your platelets went to a man in his 60s at a Valley Hospital who underwent a bone marrow transplant. And then on June 17th, when you gave the next time, you became a special match for a woman in New Jersey in her 20s who's fighting leukemia. And I believe many of your donations have gone to her, so thank you. Now we'd like to meet Peggy Whitman. She's from Chandler. She's given 47 times. She's O positive, and she was drawn out of our May 26th through June 30th finalists. She gave at our Chandler Donor Center, and she had a June 27th donation attempt that wasn't successful, but then she's given successful several times, 3 times in fact since then. What motivated you to become a donor in the beginning?
Well, it was quite a few years ago, and my friend's husband he had a heart attack, and she knew I was O positive, and she called me up and said, would you come and donate for him? Back then you could direct your donations to a certain person, and I did it, and it was the best feeling. He was up and running around, and I thought, he's got my blood in him, so there we go.
So what do you like most about donating blood?
I feel that it is something I can do to help somebody else. Knowing that I have this blood that can save a life is more than anything words can express.
Well, we're so grateful that you are a regular blood donor. And to tell you a little bit about where your blood went, your red blood cells from your July 29th donation went to a female in her 70s in an outlying Arizona hospital who was fighting severe anemia. And your September 16th platelets went to a male in his 30s who had heart surgery, had a congenital defect, and he's at a Valley Hospital and is probably alive today because of you. Thank you. Now I'd like to welcome Cheryl Sintendry from Queen Creek. She's also a very, very regular donor. She's given 40 times, and she was drawn from among our July 1st through August 5th finalists, and she gave at the Latter-day Saints Queen Creek South Stake Blood Drive on July 29th. Also O positive. We've got a lot of universal donors here. So Cheryl, tell me about what brought you to that blood drive.
Well, my friend, who isn't here today, she asked me to go with her to donate, but I usually try and go in the neighborhood, somewhere close to my home.
So it was her church, but you got drawn as the finalist.
Yes.
And are you still friends?
I think so.
So how did you, tell me a little bit about, like, you have some special motives that make you want to donate, people that you think about when you give. Can you share a little bit about that?
Well, I'm a former police officer. And of course, no one wants to hear of anyone being shot ever. But when you think of law enforcement who put themselves out there every day, it's important to have those resources available with blood donations. It's an easy thing to do too.
And I remember when we were talking, you also reflected a little bit on the children, saying that you often visualize what if it had been your child that was needing that blood transfusion. How does that make you feel when you think about that?
Well, I can't really think about it too much. I get emotional. I was getting emotional over there listening to all the other stories. So, like I said, it's just an easy thing to do. It's so easy, and it saves a life. Saves many lives.
Well, and also when we spoke, you told me that your own mother had been a recipient of blood transfusions. Do you care to share a little bit of information about that?
Well, my mom was a very young mom, and she had a C-section when she was 17 years old, and she almost died. She actually was saved by a blood transfusion. And then she also had another baby, not me. We were the good ones in the middle, but the last one was also a very traumatic birth, and that blood donation saved her life that day too.
Well, on behalf of your dedication, we're so grateful that your mom could live so that other people, because of other people donating blood, and now you're paying it forward for sure. Let me tell you a little bit about your blood donation on July 29th. The red blood cells in your blood went to a female in her 60s with had COPD and was fighting kidney failure at a Valley hospital. And then the cryoprecipitate, which is a plasma derivative, went to a male in his 60s who had a ruptured aneurysm, and he's also was from a Valley hospital. So on behalf of those two patients, thank you for giving. Next we have Robert Hernandez from Phoenix. He's given 29 times. He's our automated donor finalist. He attempted to give Power Red on August 25th, and that donation wasn't successful, but you've had others that we're going to talk a little bit about today. And I know that you're a long-term donor. So tell me a little bit about why you think it's so important to give.
It's the gift of life. And I've had family members that have needed blood donations in the past. And if it wasn't for people like them and myself, I don't know if where they would be now. But I believe that in my heart, it's something that everybody needs to do. And to give the gift of life to somebody and to be able to know where, when, and that those people are alive because of people like us. I mean, it gives me a good feeling inside, and I'm a giver, so I like giving, and it doesn't matter what time of day it is. If I have to give, I will give.
Everybody's getting cooled off a little bit over there. I hope you appreciate it. So when we were talking, you told me you actually had 3 family members that had been blood recipients. Do you mind sharing just a little bit of information about that?
I had a sister that currently is going through physical therapy, but she had, I believe, an internal bleed, and she needed a donation. I had a brother that had a head injury, and he was working for an auto shop and got hit in the head. And he spent time in the hospital, but he also needed blood. And then I just recently had a nephew this year who had a spontaneous brain bleed. Dropped to the floor, and he was a couple weeks in the hospital, and unfortunately he didn't survive, but he got the blood that he needed at the time.
Well, even when patients don't survive, it's nice to know that blood is there to help give them a chance. And we're so grateful for your other 2 family members that survived, and we're so grateful for your 29 donations. I'd like to tell you a little bit about your last 2 donations. You gave once in June, a plasma donation, and that went to a Parkinson's patient at a Valley hospital who had kidney failure and was on dialysis. And then in December, your red blood cells went to a woman in her 20s who had childbirth complications. The kids always crack. I have a hard time talking about that. So anyway, thank you so much for your donations. Next we have Jonathan Harley from Scottsdale. He's a 19-time donor with B positive blood. He was our August 6th through September 7th finalist, and he just barely squeaked it in because you gave on September 6th. And so you gave it the Chandler Gilbert Community College blood drive. And I was just amazed how you even had time to donate when you told me what a busy person you are. Let's share a little bit about what your schedule is like.
That's how I get a break in. Kind of like today, I got to take a few hours off work to come here to do something that's helpful to others. The integrity of giving with no things needed.
Well, you were telling me you have 3 jobs and you go to school. So let's hear a little bit about that.
Well, I got rid of one job so I could go to school full-time as an aircraft mechanic. First job is working at the college, building maintenance for the last 12 years. And then somebody had an extra ticket for skydiving about 7 years ago. Since then, I've been skydiving about 1,980 jumps. And every once in a while, people, need some blood. So I was I'm just kind of giving ahead of time.
Well, you told me this morning when you got here that well, actually, you told me before that if your son works hard, he's 15, that he might end up with the prize vehicle if you win it. But he couldn't be here today because he's where?
Scuba diving in Mexico right now.
Pretty adventurous family, I'd say. And charity is important to you, and you were talking a lot about you like to give back in a lot of different ways. Can you care to share some of the other ways besides donating blood that you support the community?
I'm also a construction consultant as far as helping people, a handyman basically, helping them learn how to help themselves. The idea is not just to overprice charge people, but actually teach them how to do it themselves. Gives them a more confidence and capability of doing things. So it just keeps me busy.
Well, we're glad you took the time to give blood. And I want to tell you a little bit about the plasma from your blood went to a male in his 30s who's a cancer patient at a Valley hospital. Your red blood cells have not yet been transfused, so we're still waiting to find out who you'll save from your September 6th donation. But thank you so much for your dedication. Next we have Jeanette Deming from Black Canyon City. She's given blood 6 times. She gave at our special event blood drive, the Saving Arizona Blood Drive, which we hold during the Independence holiday week, to try to help build blood supplies over holiday time frames, which is often when blood supplies plummet by 25% or more due to people being on vacation. So you drove 55 miles to come to the Saving Arizona Blood Drive in Tempe. What prompted you to do that, Jeanette?
I don't have a life. I was sitting on the couch. Oh, sorry, this is not going in my ear. I was sitting on the couch and I saw the advertisement. So I just got up and went and donated blood.
Well, we're so glad that you did. And have you ever known anybody who's needed blood?
Oh, yeah.
Care to share some information?
No, it makes me really sad. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, we certainly don't want to have you talk about anything that's uncomfortable, and but I know that that's a big motivation for you to donate because you can actually picture people that you know who are alive today because of blood transfusions. And let me tell you a little bit about your blood from this summer. You gave a plasma donation. I think after we chatted and we talked about you being the universal plasma donor, you actually came back in July and gave a quadruple plasma donation. So all 4 units went to a male in his 20s who was a trauma patient and having massive transfusions at a Valley hospital. And then the red blood cells from your August donation went to a male, 65, who had heart surgery at a Valley hospital.
Something that I did, I learned to donate blood from my mother. And so my gal, Frances, right here, my neighbor, we created, with you, a blood drive for my mom. And it's going to be every year, August 30th in Blue Hills, in Dewey, Humboldt, and we did our first one. And we're going to do it every year, so if you guys aren't doing anything next year, I hope to see you. Blue Hills has great food.
Well, and I think the weather's a little cooler in Dewey also. So, not only are you giving back through your blood donations, but all of the donors giving at your blood drives are going to keep paying it forward over and over again. So thank you very much. We're so grateful. Heather Rice was our very first finalist that we drew. She gave at the Phoenix Fan Fusion Blood Drive, which was just after the Memorial Day holiday week. We drew one finalist from that blood drive, and the Phoenix Fan Fusion. On June 3rd, you gave whole blood and have A positive blood. And I just couldn't help when we were talking. You absolutely just Phoenix Fan Fusion is your favorite event, and you dress the part too.
Oh yes, I love to dress up cosplay. We go to many events, not just in Arizona, but we've gone as far as New Mexico and Colorado and California as well. That's our next one, so we're excited about that.
Well, and you have a very interesting job that goes well with the fan fusion and your passion for, science fiction and all that. Care to share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. My husband and I just got our LLC started about a year ago, so we're just getting ready to open up our own comic shop up in Buckeye. So that's really exciting. People won't have to drive 40 miles to go find comics anymore. So we're excited about that. Also on the side, I do cosplay commissions as well. I make full body armor and costumes, and I love it. I really do.
Well, I can't think of a more fitting donor to be drawn from the Phoenix Fan Fusion Blood Drive. And I also want to thank you for wearing your Vitalant purple hair today, because it's so fitting for our event. And you know firsthand how important it is to have an ample blood supply, don't you?
Yes, I do. Back in 2000, and I believe it was 2010, I received a transfusion. I was in a car accident, and it did quite literally save my life. Unfortunately, my unborn child did not make it, but life tends to hand us those little curveballs, and you just take them as you can. So, but I was very thankful that day.
Well, we're so sorry for your loss, and I know that you do have a large blended family, and there may be a special reason why an SUV might be really great in your family. You want to tell us about that?
Oh yeah, aside from my 3 younger daughters, we also have 3 wolf hybrids who love to romp and play and go on excursions, and it can get a little bit messy and a little crowded, so. But I still fight for it because they're my fur babies and they're coming with me, so.
Well, we're glad that we might be able to give you a car that'll fit more people and dogs today. And let me tell you a little bit about your blood. Your red blood cells went to a male 84 fighting severe anemia at a Valley Hospital. And then cryoprecipitate, which is made from your plasma, went to a female at the same Valley Hospital, 39 years old, that underwent heart surgery. Thank you. Next we have Cody Reeves. Now Cody is our teen donor finalist. Every year we draw one donor from among 16 to 19-year-olds to encourage them to give blood over the summer when school's not in session. Cody came all the way from Baghdad, and he's been giving blood since he was first eligible and has given at every school blood drive. That's pretty amazing. And tell us a little bit about what this injury is here you have today.
So last night at football practice, me and my buddy were tackling each other, and he fell on me, and I fractured my collarbone. Nothing too big.
Are you still friends with him?
Oh yeah, we still hang out.
My goodness. So why was it so important for you to donate blood?
It just helps me knowing that I'm helping somebody for something as simple as just giving blood, and because everybody can do it. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. That's probably it.
I wish everybody did do it. So let's talk a little bit about your plans. Like you're going to graduate here soon. What are your plans upon graduation?
I might move to Prescott, go to college at Yavapai Community College, get some auto certs, maybe a business degree, start my own auto shop.
Do your parents know you want to leave Baghdad?
I've made it very clear.
And do you need a new car?
I could totally use one to commute from Baghdad to Prescott. It's about an hour and 30-minute drive. That would be very helpful.
Well, we're so glad, and we're keeping our fingers crossed for you. And let me tell you about your blood. Your blood was just transfused last Sunday. Cody is O negative, and his blood went to a man in his 40s at a Valley Hospital who had a trauma emergency, and your blood was transfused at 1:40 in the morning on Sunday. So thank you for that, helping that person. And last but by no means least, we have Kurt Linsky. He's from Phoenix. He's given 3 times. He has AB positive blood, which is the universal donor for plasma, and he's our goal-making coordinator finalist. So to try to encourage all of our blood drive coordinators to work hard on their blood drives, anybody who achieves their blood drive goal during the campaign will be entered into this drawing, and you were drawn out of 409 coordinators. You're the lab manager actually at Oasis Hospital, and so you know a little bit about the importance of blood. You care to share just a little bit?
Yeah, it's very important. We don't really do any life-saving procedures, but we do help people get their life back, things they like to do. So if they're after surgery, you lose blood, and if you don't have that blood to keep you healthy, you can't get up and start moving and start the rehab that you need to get back to your normal life. So it's very important. We get the notifications all the time of the stress on the blood. So it is really important that we get out there and donate, and everyone helps.
So tell us a little bit about what kind of procedures you do at Oasis Hospital.
So a lot of knee and hip replacements, back surgeries. So, just helping the public get back moving and everything like that. So
I just wanted to clarify that there was a special reason why you don't save lives at your hospital. Yeah. So anyway, it's a different kind of procedure, a different kind of patient. So have you ever had a family member who has needed blood in your life?
So my grandpa had open heart surgery. He's no longer with us, but about 10 years ago, he had an open heart surgery, and I'm sure he received quite a few units of blood during that.
Well, I'm sure you're very grateful for that. And just to share you a little bit of information about your last donation, I know you weren't able to give at your most recent blood drive, but at your last donation that you gave, the plasma from that donation went to a patient with kidney failure on dialysis at a Valley Hospital. So thank you so much for yet again working to help patients recover. So let's give a big round of applause to all of our finalists. I think they're all deserving, don't you? So now, I think we've come to that special part in our program. I just have to turn a page here because the wind hasn't been cooperating. It's about time for the moment we've been waiting for. It's time to give away a Volkswagen Taos. And I'm very proud to introduce Andy Fry, our Senior Director of Donor Recruitment, who's going to lead us through the game show portion of our ceremony today. Welcome, Andy.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I want to just say a big shout out to Sue. This event is all her, and she's dragged Lanita along with her this year. So thank her. This is an amazing event. Thank you so much. So I can't tell you how pleased I am to present the 2023 Volkswagen Taos to one of these deserving contestants. Cumulatively, they have provided 233 life-saving donations and transformed the lives of patients who received their amazing gift. Here's how our contest will work. We have a double-blind random drawing. The first drawing, each contestant will draw a water bottle with a number. Okay, so I'm going to go through it and then we'll go through the process. In order of blood donations on record, highest to lowest, each finalist will select a Vitalant water bottle. The number inside of the bottle's cap will determine the finalist order for our deal or no deal game. The second drawing, each finalist will select a numbered suitcase from a Vitalant host, a key and a unique symbol hidden inside each case. The symbol matches one of the Volkswagens in the lot. So you see the blood types and the different symbols. That helps you find which car it's going to be. One key and one key only will start the engine of the Volkswagen in the grand prize ceremony. The donor holding the winning key will be the proud owner of this awesome 2023 Volkswagen Taos. Let's please give another big thanks to the 7 Volkswagen Valley dealers for donating this beautiful car and partnering with Vitalant. All right, so now it's time to select the Vitalant water bottles. As I call your name in order of your number of donations, please come forward and select a bottle. Check the number inside and step back to your place. So number 1, Stephen Adix with 82 donations. Jershawn Eager, 59 donations. Peggy Whitman with 47 donations. Cheryl Sintendry, 40 donations. Robert Hernandez, 29 donations. Jonathan Harley, 19 donations. Jeanette Deming with 6 donations. Heather Rice with 3 donations. Cody Reeves with 3 donations. And Kurt Linsky gets the last bottle with 3 donations. All right, now it's time to find out which one of our finalists have a deal or no deal. I'd like to ask our case holders to please stand up. Make sure you look at the number on the, open your lid on your water bottle and check your number. As I call the finalist number, step forward to our hosts and choose your case. The host will reveal the symbol inside that case that matches one of the Volkswagen display cars. After your selection, please join your host in front of your assigned car. Number 1. Who has number 1? Okay, you pick your host that you want to go with, and you'll go to the car. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. And Mr. Hernandez, number 10. I want to wish everyone luck today. Although we only have one Volkswagen Taos to give away, please know that each of you is a winner to Arizona Hospital patients. No one will go home empty-handed. Each finalist receive a $50 gas card from Vitalant, a gift bag courtesy of today's sponsors. All right, is everybody at their car? The big moment is here. One of us has a case that holds a key that will start the engine of one of these Volkswagens, making you the proud owner of a 2023 Volkswagen Taos. In the event of a vehicle malfunction, during the final moment, this sealed envelope identifies the winning car. Game show host, please escort your finalists to the driver's door in their designated car, but don't get in yet. Finalists, please have a seat in your cars and close the door. Hosts, please remove the key from the case, but keep it in your position until you are cued with the flag drop. Finalists and hosts, watch the flag in the middle of the lot. When I count down from 3, your host will give you your key and you can go. 3, 2, 1. Start your engines. Congratulations to the winner, and thank you all for participating.
All right, guys, so we are out here at the Vitalant and Volkswagen car giveaway, and I am standing here with the big winner, Kirk. Congratulations on winning one of these beautiful Volkswagen cars. Tell me, how does it feel?
Surprising, really surprising. Did not expect to win today, but it was a cool experience.
So tell me a little bit about, because Sue went through where your blood went and who it helped. Tell me a little bit about how that feels to know that your blood is saving lives.
You know, it feels great. It's kind of cool that they tracked down the patients the blood went to, so you actually know that it went somewhere and did help. So that was a cool tidbit that they did.
And you work in the medical field, so you know really how important this is.
Yeah, I'm the manager at Oasis Hospital. So we take in all the blood and we do all the blood bank stuff. So I have a good group of guys back there that help with everything, and we know how important it is, and we're always trying to manage our blood. And the more blood we get, the easier it becomes. So
there you go. So this is really a vital, life-saving thing that they do here at Vitalant, and that you help do by donating blood. So okay, I have to know, where's the first place you're going to drive in your new car?
haven't decided yet. I have no idea. Probably home.
Home or work or somewhere like that. Well, go somewhere fun, go celebrate, get ice cream or something like that. But congratulations, Kirk.
Awesome. Thank you.